so that video you just saw was a Pacific tree frog, and that was its mating sound. That's the sound you hear a lot of times at night if you can hear frogs. Most of the time it's going to be the Pacific tree frog in this area projecting its mating call. Now this environment mimics the Wood Creek Nature Center, and it's a great place to find frogs in all stages of the life cycle. So let's go. This right here is a picture of the Pacific tree frog, which is the most common frog that you're going to find in the Wood Creek Nature Center and around the Sacramento, California area. The frog life cycle is so unique in so many different ways. The life cycle all starts with the female Pacific tree frog laying its eggs in a vernal pool. Now vernal pools look like little ponds, and we have over 75 vernal pools in the Wood Creek Nature Center, and they're actually an endangered habitat. So it's super important that we try to conserve them, because if the vernal pools go bye-bye, so do the Pacific tree frogs. Now the tree frog's eggs are gonna hatch in just 3 weeks. That's such a short amount of time. That's less than a month. Can you imagine if you fully developed in just 3 weeks? That would be insane. Now they don't actually hatch fully developed. They hatch into what we call tadpoles. You guys have probably seen these things in lakes, ponds, maybe even your pool in your backyard. They look like little fish, little guppies, and those are basically baby frogs, and they're gonna stay in that tadpole phase of life for about 12 to 16 weeks. But after that 12 to 16 weeks, they're gonna be fully developed frogs. All right, kids, I got a quick little joke for you. Why do you guys think frogs are so happy? It's because they eat everything that bugs them. All right, guys. Now, frogs actually have a super special adaptation for how they can get air. Now, how do you guys get air? I'm assuming you get it from breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, frogs actually absorb oxygen through their skin. That's right, folks. They absorb air through their skin, and that's how they get their oxygen. Now, we want to make sure when we see a frog, we try not to catch it. Well, one, we don't want to remove nature from its natural habitat. And two, especially frogs, because they breathe through their skin, if we keep them in our hands kind of cupped like this, like I've seen people catch frogs before, it can cut off their air supply. And we all know what happens when animals' air supply gets cut off. They unfortunately die. And we don't want that to happen to the cute little frogs out in the nature center. Now, as if frogs couldn't have any cooler adaptations with their skin, they're actually able to shed their skin just like snakes and other reptiles do, even though frogs are part of the amphibian family. Now, not only do they shed their skin, but once it's shed, they actually eat it. Now, that's right, folks. They eat their skin once it's shed. And that's because it has a lot of nutrients they can't get anywhere else, so they eat their skin as an adaptation. Okay, kids, I got one final joke for you before we go back to the classroom. What does a stylish frog wear? A jumpsuit. All right, kids, thank you so much for following me around the habitat of the Pacific tree frog and learning about their life cycle and adaptations with me. Hope to see you guys all in the Wood Creek Nature Center soon.